Welcome back to the lab, folks. What we're going to do today is look at possibly look at an economical source of solder. I mean, solder is not cheap anymore. It was fairly cheap when I got this. I don't know if my viewers in the US and the rest of the world are familiar with Nextech, but this was a brand that came out around about the time that Radio Shack in Canada went away, and they got bought out by a company called The Source. And I would buy this off them because this was made by the people over at Multicore, but it was a lot cheaper than buying the brand name Multicore. And it's a great solder, and it is in my favorite size, which is 0.8 millimeters, and it's my favorite balance, 60-40. And this here is Kester. It's another great solder, and I bought this one a few years ago as a full pound, so it's going to last me a few more years. And then one of my favorites here is MG Chemicals, and I know I have a 1 pound spool of MG Chemicals around here somewhere. I just can't seem to find it right now, but I do have this one here as an example. And this is a 6337, which is not my favorite balance of lead and tin, but it tends to harden very quickly. These ones here, the 6040 hardens a little bit slower, a little more gradual hardening, but it is an excellent solder, and in fact, in my opinion, it's probably the best out of the ones you see here. These these are made in either the States or in Canada. I think there are factories in both sides of the border. This is made in the States. This is made in the States. And right now, multi-core solder and Kester are around about $100 a pound in my dollars. The MG Chemicals is considerably cheaper, between 60 and 70. And then I noticed on a couple of the channels that I follow, people were using this brand, Towot. And when I inquired, they said it's excellent solder. So I went out and I got myself a couple of small 100 gram, about 4 ounce spools of it. And I got my favorite alloy, 60-40. I got in 0.8 and 0.6 millimeters. They're my two favorites. I also use 1 millimeter as well. And sometimes I think I have a small spool of 1.2 millimeter around here, but I don't use that often. This one here, the 0.8, is great for normal stuff, whereas the 0.6 is better for surface mount. If you lay this along 8 legs of a little surface mount IC and then run the soldering iron down along it, you'll get just the right amount of solder on there. And this is great for just through-hole components, regular soldering. It's just the ideal amount. You feed in about a half a centimeter per joint, and that's usually just perfect. So I want to try these out. So what I'm going to do is I've got this little strip board here. I'm just going to run a strip of each one of these ones. Let's see, I'm going to do the 0.8 millimeter. Just run a strip of each one down here. And then we'll have a look on a microscope and see how they look. This comes in at around about $40 a pound. If it compares favorably with any of these here, it'll be well worth it getting some of this. So let me set up for that. I'll get a soldering iron going here, and we'll solder up 3 lines, and we'll take it up and look at it under the microscope. Okay, here we are. I'm going to start off with the Kester solder here. We'll give that a line and see how that goes. Now I've got the iron set up here with a little spreader tip on it, and we're at 330 degrees C, so let's get started here. Okay, that's that one done. Now I'm going to carefully clean the tip between each application so we don't contaminate from one to the next. Now we'll go with the Nextech solder, which is multi-core. Is multi-core still available? I can't get it up here in Canada as far as I know. None of the local stores I go to carry it. I usually just order it from Amazon, actually. Let's get this one done here. It's the same length, so we'll do the same thing. Same width, so we'll do the same thing here. All right. Now we'll go over to the MG Chemicals. Same thing again. All right, and now the Towot. So British people might have fun with that name. Towot sounds an awful lot like another T word they tend to use quite a bit. Alrighty. Yeah, just looking from here, they all look pretty darn good. The MG Chemicals looks a little bit shinier. But let's go up and look at that under the microscope. All right, here we've got here the Kester on the top line here, and it looks like it didn't quite flow. Now it could have been the fault of the copper, it could have been the fault of the guy at the soldering iron. But you can see it's got a fairly nice, kind of glossiness to it. It doesn't have too much crystallization in it. So that's pretty good. Now here is the multicore / Nextech. It's got a bit of crystallization in it, and it's not quite as glossy as the Kester. This here's the MG Chemicals. It's got a little bit of crystalline in it, but not as much as the multicore, and it's shinier than either the Kester or the multicore. And here's the Towot. Towot seemed to spread fairly well, but as you can see, it's not quite as shiny as the others, and it's got a lot of crystalline in it. Not that bad. Like this is not anywhere near as bad as some of the solders I've gotten, especially inexpensive ones from China that you pick up now and then. It's really not too bad, but it's not really up to snuff with the other ones here. I'd say the best here are the Kester and the MG Chemicals. I'd rate them about the same, and then I'd put this one here just below them, and then the Towot. But considering the price of the Towot, this ain't so bad. All right, let's get back to the lab. I want to do something else down there. All right, here we go. We've got all the parts assembled here. I've got the board ready. So I'm just going to start putting it together, and I'll speed through that, maybe put in a little background music and all that. And we'll see you back at the other end. All right. Okay, there it is. It's all finished. Now let's set up to test it. We're going to need some power, and we're going to need an output. So let me set up for all of that, and I'll be right back. All right, here we are. We've got this all connected up. We've got some power coming in here. I think we've got it set up for around about 6 volts or something. I'm not sure. It's rather a wide power range. You can operate this on, so 6 volts will be just fine. I've got this on the 10 volt scale, and I'm ready to turn the power on now. The power is on, and we press the button on, press the button off. So it's 5.5 volts. Press the button off, on, off. Now I do want to redesign this module. In fact, I already have. I'm going to send it out for manufacture. So I don't want to have 2 connectors here. I think both of them have a ground on them. So what I just want is to have like 1 ground, 1 VCC, and 1 signal. And that way it'd be like any other 3-pin module where you'll have voltage, ground, and signal. Or normally it's signal, voltage, ground. That way if you get it around backwards, you don't screw up anything. All right, so let's go and have a look then at the soldering on this. I'm just going to clean it up with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, and then we'll take it to the microscope and have a look at it there. We'll see what actual soldering is like. Now, the experience of soldering was a little bit different than the other solders that I have. It didn't wet quite as quickly, and the flux on the iron was a little bit dirtier. I'm not talking about a lot here, but just noticeably. So the iron got a little bit dirtier, a little bit quicker than with, let's say, Kester or the multi-core or the MG chemicals. All right, well, let's have a look at it under the microscope.
Okay, we got, what is that thing happening around the screen there? I didn't ask it to do that. Anyway, let's go on. So yeah, here we got the actual PC board. It looks like I got a little bit of fluxes left over there, bad cleaning. But you can see, oh, on here, I've got a little bit too much solder here. This is going into a ground plane, and I've got way too much connection to the ground plane. So that's a bad design on my part. And as you can see, look, so the joints are okay. I mean, they look fairly decent. This one's got a little bit too little solder, but that's not the fault of the solder itself. This is another one here that's not complete going into the ground plane. You can see my connections here. There's 4 huge big connections to the ground plane. So that's not the fault of the solder, but they're not as shiny as I'd like to see them. Like they're, and like I said, that the flux was a little bit dirtier, and you can see it there. Like it's a kind of a nastier looking flux, and it did cover the iron a little bit more than I would like to see. But yeah, it is only about 40% the price of the Kester solder. So I would say, to have a couple of spools around just in case you run out or you misplace the solder that you have, or it wouldn't be that bad. But I wouldn't use it as my main brand of solder. Like I say, it's not terrible. I've seen a lot worse, but like look at this joint here, like that, not particularly good looking joint. I mean, none of them really are. They're kind of dull. Yeah, they don't have that shine on them that you get with the Kester or the MG chemicals. A little disappointing. Would I say it's recommended? No, not really. I think I'll leave it at what I have with those 2 little spools that I bought, and just say, yeah, it was worth the experiment. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I don't know when we'll see you again. I'm very, very busy these days, so hopefully it won't be too far in the future. But we'll see you then anyway. Thanks for coming out. Bye-bye.